Guten Tag. This is the end, of my first Conlang series, Yiitze, which isn't really that old, it hasn't got a history, it was last month. But I just thought, before finally letting it go, I could finish off the writing system. There isn't much detail on how to make a writing system, so I sort of improvised, and also, since it is my first language, and since it's based on an archipelago, I thought, why not make it so that when you're on an archipelago, you would stay on one small island, and not have to write down, or landmarks probably, but you wouldn't be that civilized. And if you were that civilized, or advanced, you'd already have visited other islands, at which point you'd probably have a government, and that government would have to go, hold on, we don't know how to talk to other islands, or get people to talk to other islands, or possibly landmarks, to mark them and write down its history or something. So yeah, as you can tell, this is quite mathematical. This is the basic alphabet. Well, basic, I mean the structural alphabet. Possibly in future, maybe each letter would change due to how you'd write it, flicking of the wrist. Also, I will note this language tries to use this sign. It's used only twice here, just because there are two last letters, and it can't work like that anymore because it's already done free like this. And, oh, sorry, free, which have the sort of right to left flick, and that's because obviously, since most people who are in this language, like everywhere, are right-handed, they'd want to avoid having to somehow, like, shift their arm uncomfortably and move it like that. So yeah, originally I thought I would sort of get the government to write down, it was like a phonetic, no, not phonetic, mnemonic, very similar. And so you'd say sha, ra, ya, bada, but I didn't have enough vowels. I thought I could do like Arabic, where they imply the vowel in newspapers and stuff. But, you know, why bother? So instead it's named after lots of members of the government, who their first letter is. And then they get the second letter, if they've got corresponding letters. Also, this letter, which represents both sh and ch, and sh, that's because they can't tell the difference, like how the English can't tell the difference between the and the. They both represent it as th, which I hate. I don't know why the English chose that. Like, some Anglo-Saxon came on the shores of Britannia and went, I know what I'll do. I'll just get the most horrendous, unpronounceable letter, give it two letters to pronounce for some reason, instead of just saying f and the. No, I'll make it incredibly complicated, and give people of the future a horrible, indistinguishable lisp. Sorry. I'm just very angry with the English language. This is the same for the and sir. This isn't the same thing, though. It's the same as e and ya, because the y can either mean e or ya. No one knows why. It's just the English language is very, very stupid, and I hate it. I think the rest is pretty self-explanatory. I was considering actually editing this with the Blender video editor function, but I think we're making good time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's move this. This is the number system, not really in the middle of the frame there. That's as close as you're going to get. This is actually from the viewer moment. So this right here, this is actually one finger, your index finger pointing out. This is your two fingers. I feel like, you know, today, we'd think of, you know, 1 and 2 on a finger like that. I suppose maybe they'd have it different, but I compensated with that for making this one the 3 middle fingers, as you can see here on laterally. I should also note these are supposed to be a lot earlier, because you don't need to be, you know, severe government and far away. It's just an automatic thing to say, you know, how many animals there are, how much time you've got to die. I could use, like, measuring systems. I might pick up on this later, you know, for keepsake. And then this is actually all 4 fingers apart from the thumb put together, and this sort of makes this sign. This is a fist, which equals 5. And then, because no number systems aren't finite, so that's why every language, well, every proper language gets some sort of way of, like, you don't go, like in The Hobbit, they say the 11th, 10th birthday or something, whereas we just say the 100th and 11th, the stupid first sound, the 100th and 11th year. So here it stops at 5, also basically on the hand, which most cultures do. You know, the hand has 5 digits, literally, and, you know, just seems good. And then obviously it goes to 10, and then it's implied that if you wanted to say 11, you'd say this, and then this, and then this. I could write it down for you, if you're interested in writing down something and you've memorized a word from yiitze, you could just check it out, and if you write it multiple times, I suppose you could simulate the evolution over time. Because, you know, languages do change a lot. I mean, have you seen the Greek alphabet? It's completely different. Yeah. That's the end of yiitze. I was going to go more into detail, like actually do proper things, but I suppose I can get away with it because, you know, it is an island in an archipelago, so I suppose it seems accurate. I was going to make another proper actual language. Well, I mean, it's not proper. None of these are proper. These are all rubbish, but one that I actually tried in. And I want to simulate actually the beginning of man, so in Africa, hold on, just put this back up. In Africa, the grasslands. So yeah, I think that could be a lot better. I don't see how it could make a difference, but maybe something will come up. And also, probably writing system would evolve earlier. Also, I should have thought, what will they call the letters? They probably could call them after the sound they have. But what about numbers? Yeah. I have been off for a while, because, you know, 10 days, I think. So yeah, that's my catchphrase now. Guten Tag, what's goodbye for, I studied German, I should know this. Au revoir. Yeah, sure, French now.